Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the post-show live chat where we're going to be talking about everything that went down in the finale of Season 17 of The Bachelorette, Katie Thurston's season. How's everyone doing tonight? It's me, Bachelor Fan Take, and we're here to talk about the 3-hour finale that we made it, and there's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about with Paradise, but also with how things ended in the finale here. How's everyone doing tonight? Woo, Canada! Another Canadian coming into the fold. So if you're new to the stream, if you're new to maybe the VOD that you might be watching afterwards, this is where we're just going to be talking about the show, answering questions, chatting, and of course there are a few little rules here that we always go over. Number one, please, no posting spoilers, even though this season has ended. That includes any Bachelor in Paradise spoilers, because that's coming out next week. I'm going to do my best to answer any and all questions that we see in the chat. Super chats, of course, are going to get priority, and we've already got one here. Spamming any violations of YouTube policy, not going to be allowed. And last but not least, be kind to each other. So, yes, we're done. We've made it. And I already see Asia here. And by the way, last week the super chats were kind of crazy. I've got a new setup here, so I'm thinking it's going to work out for making sure no super chats get missed at all. And Asia already right away with the super chat. Really appreciate the continued support. That finale was something else. I'm so happy for Katie and Blake. The whole conversation with Greg was crazy and very interesting. That whole Greg situation was a hot mess. Yeah, Katie came out guns blazing. And first and foremost, more than anything else, congratulations, Katie and Greg. Katie and Blake. Okay. Congratulations, Katie and Blake. You always just gotta, wish them the best, right? These people are engaged. It's a real engagement. They're a real couple. They're gonna be together. So I honestly don't wish them any ill will. I wish them nothing but happiness, and I hope they have the greatest success. One thing I want to get off my chest. I've been seeing this take a lot on Twitter. Isn't Katie supposed to be happily engaged, and she's coming after Greg with all this anger? That take bothers the hell out of me, because it's as if you can't have two emotions at once. Regardless of whose side you're on, people are so divided on this Katie and Greg stuff. It's not possible for Katie to both be happily engaged and pissed off at Greg at the same time. Come on. There was a lot of reflection that Katie had obviously been doing and thinking about that time, and she was ready to finally talk to Greg. Oh man. Yeah, you can see the family relation to Aunt Lindsay, coming out a bit there, and she has there are a lot of reasons why she should be PO'd, but thank you so much for the super chat, and SHM Design, thank you as well for the super chat. Thoughts on Katie listening to Blake's lay out his heart, but wouldn't give Greg that a few days earlier, then say she loves him. With Justin still there, breaking her rule. Yeah, obviously, it's a little bit of, she broke the rule for Blake. At the end of the day, I don't know, because I don't know if she would have, if it was just Greg and Blake, and for example, in the final two, would she have broken the rule for Blake with Greg still there? I don't know. Things might have been different because of the whole Greg situation. she might have been like, screw it, like, I'm, I'm just saying it, I don't care anymore. I wonder, because it's true. She made this whole big deal with Greg saying, I'm not saying I love you until the very end, or to one man. I guess technically she did only say it to one man. But I wonder if, say, Greg had stayed and they were still in the fight, would she have then gone on to a fantasy suite with Blake and said, I love you for him? I don't know. It does also raise a question of, was Greg actually her number two, and some of the reservations that she had were because she was seriously considering Blake as her pick. It's like, how can we know? I think things kind of just blew up after the whole Greg stuff. She might have just at that point went all in on Blake and needed to say that so that Blake was 100% sure. And then I know that then it's then it ping pongs back and forth, and, well, why couldn't she have done that with Greg? I don't know. But yeah, I know poor Justin. Justin was going home at hometowns. So it just like what was Katie gonna do there for, like, obviously Justin was just getting eliminated. So it's such an unusual situation. I think we can't act as if she was saying I love you to Blake with Justin still there is the same thing as if she was saying I love you to Blake with Greg had he had still shown up. Like, Justin was basically, once Greg left, it was only Blake left anyways, like, sorry Justin. But and SHM Design again, these actions really made me dislike Katie. I guess a continuation of your super chat. And then doesn't acknowledge she was also in the wrong and just attacked Greg in the after the final rose, is doing what she thinks he did to her. She ate the gossip up. Gosh, this is so like complex. Of course, Katie, it's not the greatest look to turn around and say, I love you so quickly to Blake right after. But I don't know what the situation would be like if Greg had stayed. Like, would she have done the same? But she was letting out a lot of. I think there's a lot of justified anger towards Greg, because there's also, I do feel like things probably should have, for the sake of the image, and things probably should have been cooler at the after the final rose, because this is not gonna be like it brings up conversations like this. People are going to continue to wonder why Katie was so angry when she's happily engaged. Gosh, like, my brain is already like tired of talking about this. At the end of the day, I still believe that huge miscommunication happens. So much we don't know, because apparently this was a really long argument and we didn't see half the footage from it. So I'm kind of at a loss, because I don't think we're ever going to know truly everything that happened here. So. And Victoria Osinski, thank you for the super chat as well. Justin as the next Bachelor. Maybe we didn't think he'd make it to the final two, but he's here. Also, I have feelings that Greg is another Luke P, but with the religious slant, but without or within the religious slant, or without the religious slant. Very controlling and dismissive of the other's feelings, thoughts. See, like, this is so divisive. already. Like, literally the super chat after the other one before. I definitely believe that Katie is justified in a lot of her anger towards Greg. I believe that she kind of was caught off guard with everything that happened during the filming of that breakup, and she probably, when she came to the after the final rose, she was not caught off guard anymore. She had time to think about it and come at Greg with all of her feelings and reanalyzation of everything that had happened. Much more prepared, which is why she was much more pointed. I do believe, like I said in my video, that Greg came from a place of vulnerability and like sort of protecting himself because of everything that went down with his dad and not being ready, and that he wasn't ready for this. He wasn't ready for this level of commitment, even if he thought he was. I think he needs to deal with his dad's stuff before he would be ready for this kind of thing. And perhaps that meant he was looking for an out. Doesn't justify the way he spoke. Particularly, in my opinion, when he showed up to Katie's door the day after. I think a lot of people also they relate to what Greg says because people relate to the feeling of someone pouring their heart out and saying I love you and being rejected. So I can't, I don't know if I can call it a Luke P. I don't know if I am equipped enough, quite frankly, to analyze it in this way. But thoughts, Justin, as the next Bachelor? Not gonna happen. With Katie, I think we should focus now on Blake and, wish them happily ever after from this point on. Move on from this stuff and the Greg stuff and focus on the positive relationship ahead. And the fact that Katie might have to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan in the future, which is a horrible, horrible burden. So, good luck, Katie. And Bella King, thank you for the super chat. The Blake isn't ready to propose storyline screamed producer influence to me. He said at the beginning he would propose and seemed to be ready. Yeah, there was also a part where in the show where Blake says, I'm in love with her, and it was really early on, and it still makes me wonder if he was actually a little bit more forthright with his feelings around their hometown date, but that's a conspiracy theory. But this whole storyline of Blake, am I ready to propose or not, is necessary because otherwise there would be no drama. There'd be no stakes. It would just be like, oh, they're just going to get engaged and that's it, and that's done. There needed to be, once the show continued on and Blake was pretty much the only one left, even though, like, for a little while Justin was still there, there needed to be some sort of stakes. And so the storyline that was kind of pushed, and it definitely wasn't the full storyline, was that Blake, didn't know if he was going to propose. Didn't know if he was willing to propose with Katie saying, all this stuff about Greg and yada, yada, yada. So that's why that storyline was pushed. And of course Blake proposed at the end, but there needed to be that doubt, so people, got through the whole like middle hour of the show, going, is Katie gonna end up brokenhearted? And so we probably also saw a lot more pushback with the like Aunt Lindsay stuff than we normally would have in that kind of final date setting, where Blake and normally there's another final person meet the family. Sometimes it goes like really, really easy. Sometimes it's really, really tough. We saw a lot of pushback, and that's probably because they wanted to, put forward more of that this is not going to go well for Blake narrative, to add that doubt. And Kaleidosaurus X, thank you so much for the big super chat. Really, 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 really appreciate it for all your continued support. And tonight we memorialize a finale result that probably should have happened on Paradise. What a trip. Final rose, as always, goes to the fan take. Thanks for all the work you do to keep us smiling and sleuthing. Thank you so much for being in chat here, for talking. Yeah, I really, really, really appreciate it. And for the kind words. I get that. I get the feeling that people say, like, this could have happened in Paradise. I think there are a lot of people that also go, should Katie have even been the Bachelorette in the first place? She was 11th place. That never happens. There were a lot of great candidates, Michelle being one of them, but Michelle is going to be the Bachelorette. And the good thing is we've got a lot of Paradise stuff to look forward to. Really, really appreciate the support. And by the way, speaking of Paradise, we're gonna see we're gonna continue to do some live sleuthing, and I'm gonna see, usually partway through the stream, a preview comes up. We'll see if they do that this time, but there is also not the preview that we saw at the end of the episode, but there was one they posted on Twitter recently. So there is Paradise preview sleuthing to do. We're gonna do that no matter what. I promise. But let me get to more of these super chats here. But really, really, really appreciate the support. Okay. All right, and I am not Nicole. Thank you for your continued support as well. Always coming in with super chats. I'm bouncing early tonight. The last 2 weeks have been crazy and draining. On to Paradise. Congrats to Blady. Take my money. I appreciate your work. Thank you for calling out that Katie can be happy and angry. Yeah, that was something that I'd seen from like multiple like Bachelor Nation people. Like, why is Katie so angry? Anyways, it's stupid. But thank you for the continued support. Really, really, really appreciate it. And Lasagna, thank you for the super chat. I think at this point, Katie's not mad that Greg broke up with her. She's mad that he blamed her for everything. She had every right to be angry. Yeah. Yes. I think she could be mad that he broke up with her as well. Like, it doesn't have to be just that, she's completely over the breakup. I think she's, happy with Blake. I wish them all the best. And, I think they can totally be happy and her be pissed off at Greg. And be pissed off that Greg broke up with her in the circumstances that he did. But yeah, no, I think she definitely fueled herself watching it back, and yeah, I don't blame her. When has there ever been a breakup that's that goes so smoothly, right? It's always messy, even if it's private, like inwardly messy, let alone something like this on such a public stage. But you know, it is what it is. I even though it seemed kind of fake and a little bit forced at the end, where they said, "I wish nothing but the best for you." I think we leave it at that. Let them move on. It's good to have discussions about this, because at the end of the day, even though this is a reality TV show, it's important to understand that there are things here. This is not the way a relationship is supposed to work. This is not a way like two people engaging in partnership are supposed to operate. This is not the way they're supposed to communicate. This is not the way that it's supposed to be worked towards in order to have a happy and healthy relationship. So, like, even though this is reality TV, even though we do say let's move on from it, it's important to note that, like, for people watching, like, this is not what you should expect from a relationship at all. So let's move on, but understand that this is like if you're working with a partner, this is a textbook failure. So, and maybe, thank you for the super chat. I think she's since tweeted about having gone off too harshly on Greg, but I do understand feeling hurt from mistreatment as if it were still fresh. Yeah, she I remember her saying something along the lines of like, maybe I shouldn't have maybe I shouldn't have been so pointed at the after the final rose. Like, she retweeted someone and something like that. Yeah, I remember seeing something like that as well. But that's the name of the game here. Especially when it's so public, so suddenly, and you're posting about it online a lot. One thing I love is that Katie was so public and posting, the most social lead probably we've ever had in terms of like tweeting and comments and things on Instagram and stuff like that. But it's a double-edged sword, because if you're live tweeting and reacting, like, you're under the microscope. So it can come back to bite you a little bit, because tweets can be deleted, but screenshots can't, and people in Bachelor franchise screenshot things like instantly. But yeah. And Asia, thank you again for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Aunt Lindsay was going hard on Blake. I understand that she was skeptical about the whole thing. I think her going that hard on Blake was a little too much. Thoughts? Yeah, oh yeah. There's a part where it's like, whoa, she's going hard, and this is kind of like I'm here for it. And then there's a part where it's a little bit like, ugh, this is harsh. But again, I wonder if some of that is pushed because Blake was the only one left, and they showcase that stuff a lot more, focus on it to make things more dramatic. As there's no question of whether or not it's going to be Blake in the end. It's now a question of, will Blake decide to propose? But yeah, it'll be an interesting Thanksgiving coming up with Aunt Lindsay and Katie. Oh, the beard's here? Well, okay. And the primary perspective, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being my after show bestie to unpack each episode. Thank you for joining. Thank you for super chatting. Thank you for being here. Really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you for the support. Thank you so much. And Stephanie Jean-Louis super chatted. Really, really appreciate the support. No message. I don't know if that was missed. But thank you so much. Jake Rose, when do you think they announce the next Bachelor? Do they choose someone from Michelle's season? I'm thinking there's no way they're choosing anyone from Michelle's season. Simply, there's no time to do that, because it's going to be it's filming now. but it's going to be airing already in October, and they don't know anyone's like public perception. Sort of like what happened with Tasha and Claire's season. It's way too late for them to make any decision on that. So that not happening as far as I see it. Anyone from Michelle's season, unless they are so sure about someone. But I don't think it's going to happen. I'm thinking it's going to be at the end of Bachelor in Paradise. They're going to have the announcement. That's a very common time that they announce The Bachelor. And they'll have the person come out and wave and, say, like, see you in January. I still think it's going to be Michael, personally, right now. Based off of, like, a couple of things, like the casting announcement that they did, where it's, like, for single mothers and stuff like that. They have in the past made accommodations, and they've gone to the extra length to try and accommodate someone who has a child, so that, like, James, Michael's son, could be there, or something like that. It's possible that they get that done. And I also think that they see Michael as potentially someone who's more likely to have a happy ending, and they, whether or not that's fair to say, because, like, you could talk about any of the other men or someone from Paradise as, like, well, why can't they also have a happy ending? I think it's just kind of a stereotype or whatever that comes with being a single dad. That's also not to say that a single dad can't be there for the wrong reasons too. But they see that as him more likely to actually end the season with a happy ending, which is something that The Bachelor has not had for a while. And they need to score a W there. So I think I'm just trying to put myself in the mindset, in the shoes, look at things from the perspective of production, and that also makes sense to me. So that's why I'm thinking Michael, more than just the fact that I've also been a pretty Michael stan through my videos and tweets and stuff like that. But that's also one thing I'm thinking too. And Waleska Baka, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Does anyone know where the whole Greg pursuing acting thing came from? Not sure if I missed something or if there was a credible source that exposed Greg. Yeah, this was all outside of the show. And to me, like, that, like, the whole acting thing is not, like, I kind of, like, I don't think it's a big deal. I know for a lot of people it's sort of like the musician thing. A red flag if you're a musician coming on the show. You're coming on for exposure, for a platform, and not actually for love. And I get that, but I think, like, why can't an actor or a musician, like Connor is kind of a musician. He's doing shows. Connor is doing shows, like, where he sings songs from the show. That's and selling tickets and stuff like that. Why can't you do that and also come on for love? But there was also a whole bunch of stuff coming out with his, like, family members saying this is such a good opportunity for his career, that I think came out, and Katie kind of jumped on that. But he said he wasn't Meryl Streep, but I don't know, that them both saying at the end, I wish you nothing but the best. Yeah, you know what? That was bad acting. I didn't buy that for a second. So yeah, no, neither of them are Meryl Streep. And Mallory Rubin, thank you for the super chat. After meeting Katie's family and after her blow up, I do not think Greg would survive in Katie's family. Thoughts? Also, I love your videos. Thank you so much. Could you imagine what it would have been like if Justin, Michael, or Greg had come to meet Katie's family? Would have been interesting. Blake did admirably. I don't know, but were they also a little extra pointed because of the Greg situation too? Like that they probably knew all of that. They probably talked about that off camera. So they might have been extra guarded because of that. I don't know. I wonder. I wonder if things would have been a little bit different if the season played out, I guess, more traditionally. Like if none of the Greg blowout happened, Justin say, Michael stays, like what would have happened? Would we have gotten the ending that we did? I don't know. But certainly they were extra. And if Greg had showed up after the blow up, if Greg had decided to stay and then come, that would have been I think worse than what Blake got by a long shot. But Nana, thank you so much as well for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Seeing the way Katie went after Greg with such intensity makes me question if Matt's girls weren't lying about her because she crossed a line, in my opinion. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of the cast from Matt's season, not big fans of Katie. We saw that in the Women Tell All. And apparently I'd heard something about production. And this is such a rumor. Like you hear these few things come out. Production, I'd heard, is not a huge fan of Katie. I don't know if that's true. And like who knows where the source comes from. So I'm not sure if that's true, but anyways, maybe I think one of the complaints that people are having is that Katie really tried to control her season in a way that was unnatural too. I've heard that, so I don't know. And a golden tattoo. I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to see what do we have here because it's late. If there's any preview sleuthing that we can get to, because there are a lot of super chats, I'm gonna try to answer them as succinctly as I can and get through them. Speaking as someone, this is from a golden tattoo. Thank you so much for the super chat. Speaking as someone with a psych degree and a survivor of interpersonal violence, Katie's anger is very in line with what you'd expect to see in that sitch. The 5 stages of grief also apply to relationships. Well, there you go. Thank you for that insight. I am not I don't have a psych degree, and I really appreciate the insight. But I think there's nothing wrong with the anger that she showed especially in relationship to Blake, and being happy with Blake. And I know as myself, sometimes when I get caught up in an argument, it feels like you can play catch up, like it happens so quick. You have all these thoughts and these feelings that you want to get across, and then it just moves so fast, and you kind of feel like lost, and you're not able to communicate well. And then, obviously, Katie being able to see everything after the fact, she was able to collect her thoughts and she put them out. But thank you so much for that perspective, and then for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. And SHM Design again. Sorry, I agree, Katie is justified, but wasn't the best look to not take the high road. Also, are you shocked they didn't announce Michael? No, I'm not shocked, because they almost never announce Bachelor this early. I think there's no way that anyone in this situation, Katie or Greg, regardless of how you think about it, regardless of who you think is in the right, there's no way Katie is going to look picture perfect clean, because it's such a messy breakup. It's so personal and it's so emotional. It's and raw, really, this whole thing. There's no way to come out of this so perfectly. And I think a problem is that we try to. I think you have to come together with your emotions and your take and just be okay with that. And I think they should both. I think Katie should, be like not focusing on what people are saying, because it's hard online, and be happy with the journey that she had, even though it was unconventional, and look to the future with her fiance and focus on that, because so much of this franchise is going to be people nitpicking, picking sides, and talking about your relationship, and it's very easy for that to pull away from the reality of you now have a fiance and you now have a life that you're going to be working towards together. So if that gets neglected, it can fall apart really, really quickly, especially under the scrutiny and pressure of all this attention that they're going to be getting. And Sarah, thank you so much for the super chat. I say this without malice or derision. Greg didn't need a woman's unlimited validation. He needed therapy. He definitely needs to come to terms. Well, not come to terms, but come to a place of I don't know what the word is, but he needs to come to a place of whatever with his whole dad stuff. He's not ready. He's not over that, and that is truly affected his decision making, and I think the way he dealt with his hometown, as I said in my video. And Victoria Osinski, thank you for the super chat. The last dance song with Blake and Katie, in tears. That's really nice. Really nice that that there was like a happy ending for you there. I'm glad we had something happy to jump off of at the end. Also, Oilers or Canucks fan. I am. I have to live with this, but I am a born Toronto Maple Leafs fan. It is just, it is a pain unto itself. So, I wish I could not be, because they break my heart more than any season of the Bachelor or Bachelorette can do. It's just, it's my unfortunate truth that I have to be a Leafs fan. I can't help it. But Oilers or Canucks, probably with this last season, probably Canucks, but I usually root for any Canadian team in the playoffs. Another sad story for me. But Bachelor in Quarantine 2020, another great season. We love you, Bachelor fan take. Really, really appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you so much for the big super chat. And Melissa Berman, Blake is strong, is a strong, mature man who is sure of himself and his relationship. That will carry Blake and Katie far, despite all the public opinion they have to face now. Thanks for all you do, fan take. I hope so, because, like I said, there's a lot of scrutiny, and I also wonder, like I said this, like I wasn't doing YouTube at the time, but with Ari and Lauren, when he did the switcheroo, and everyone just hated them. Sometimes scrutiny can be like a bonding thing. It's you two against the world. So, but there will be a lot of question marks. People saying, "Oh, Blake was a second choice. Greg was always the person," and they need to like push through and focus on their happiness. I always, even with some of the couples that people poke fun at, like Claire and Dale, all that stuff. If they're engaged, I wish them nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. I hope they're happy. Truly, honestly. Even if some people, like, there's a lot of people who go, "Oh, I give them this amount of months, that amount of months." Even the most unlikely couples, if they're engaged, I hope they're happy. And Shannon K. Boyle, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the season's work, fan take. How are you feeling about them literally riding into the sunset? They always do something like that. You can't always quite get the. I don't know. I'm a sucker for the Tayshia and Zach exit with the taxi because it was very endearing. It was funky and weird. And I think one of the things that really worked with that as well is that Tayshia is someone who, on the surface, appears very Instagram, very poised and very prepared, and she's presenting herself, and intelligently so. But when you see that kind of more that human quirky bit, it really is endearing. So I'm always a sucker for the kind of weird, funky ending, which they showed a little bit at the end of the episode in the credits with the Blake stuff, and riding off and him tearing his pants and whatever. But I don't know. To me, I'm a sucker for that more so than even the really really romantic endings. And I don't know. This was so touched a little bit with the will they won't they stuff right up to the end, and the is he the second choice. That I don't know. Maybe it felt a little bit off for me, the ending. But again, wish them nothing but the best. And Katie, thank you for the super chat. Really, really appreciate the continued support. Happy finale night. Fan take, I'll admit, I'm a tiny bit spoiled for a few Paradise couples, and seeing my favorite pairing made me so happy. Who are you excited to see in the preview tonight? So we here's who I was excited to see, not in the preview tonight, but in the in some of the previews before. Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe is there. He's showing up. There's so much in the preview. A lot of people I suspected, which was nice. Seeing Piper there, because I know that's going to be a thing with Brendan. I was more focused on some of the couples that were forming together. Like there's this shot with Demi and Kenny, and we've seen, if you watched my first look preview, you'll know that we suspected Demi was going to be there, and there's a love triangle which definitely seems to be forming with Kenny, Demi, and Mari, I believe her name is. But hopefully we're going to get into a little bit of the a little more Paradise preview before we sign off for the night. And Runa, thank you for the super chat. Hey, fan take, my first super chat. Thank you so much for your super chat. Love your positivity during Bachelor Nation's aggressiveness. This channel feels like home. Thank you so much. That's so nice. Really, really appreciate those kind words. Thank you. That's really, really nice. I really appreciate it. And Alicia Monahan, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on Aunt Lindsay? Aunt Lindsay was coming in hot, and it was a little bit uncomfortable. There's a level, like I said before, there's a level of woo, get her. That's enjoyable, and then there's a little bit of okay, we're getting I wonder what Katie is gonna tell Aunt Lindsay after the show. Okay, stop. But Aunt Lindsay. Woo. Kelly McClure, thank you for the super chat. Really, really appreciate the support with no message there. But thank you for the support. Heather H. Again with a super chat. Blake should be aware of his fiance's intense anger towards her ex. Not stupid. Important to address anger. That is functional. I think I hope they have extremely healthy conversations about Greg, or if they've already had them, because you can wonder. You can wonder as a partner. I think they have. I think they have, and I think they're fine. I think they have, and I think they're fine. At this point, I'm not. worried about that aspect, I guess. That's my take from how they talk, and I certainly hope they would have really deep dove into it. And they kind of talked about it on their date. I'm sure they've talked about it more. It's probably well in the past, even though it's all coming up now. But again, they, focus on their relationship, move forward. Don't focus so much on social media and people's discussion about their relationship. They have complete control over it at this point. And Alex Henry, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for another great season, fan take. Did you watch with your partner or family? What did they all say about the finale tonight? I always have a group chat going with my family separately. It's really fun. It's actually one of the things that kind of like that I based a lot my videos off of, is I want to create that kind of experience of like when you chat with friends and family and you post like memes and things, and like we see it on Twitter as well. So there, I always continue that with my family watching and talking about the show. And I think there's a lot of stuff, a lot of opinions. I think pretty typical stuff like the Aunt Lindsay, the like Greg and Katie fight was big, and that kind of stuff. It's always good fun. But thank you for the super chat, and Katie HK as well for the super chat. Really really appreciate it. Jalissa White. I'm sorry. There's like a ton. I want to try to get to as much as I can without things getting to like midnight, because I also have to get up and do a 3-hour recap. So I'm sorry if I'm kind of rushing through a lot of this stuff here. I want to try to answer these as best as I can. But Jalissa White, really, really appreciate it. Katie posted on Instagram 1 minute ago and wished Blake a happy birthday with a kiss. Yeah, what a day for his birthday too. I did know that. I had seen. And a golden tattoo as well. Again, Katie just posted with her and Blake. Looks like you'll be seeing each other at the annual meetings in Canada. We got another one. We got another Canadian in the fold. We've Astrid has been pulled in, and now Katie as well. And we're just growing stronger here in the Canadian Bachelor Nation. It's happening. Thank you for that. And Rachel Robinson, thanks for all the fun, laughter, and positive distractions. Again this season, smiley face. Thank you for the super chat. Really kind words. Maybe Aunt Lindsay has 2 Thanksgivings to disapprove of Blake. Haha. Yeah, I know. We've got the Canadian and the American Thanksgiving. And now the borders have opened, so she'll be at both. Also, just FYI, it's Maybe. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that clarification. Maybe, really, 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 really appreciate that. And for the super chat, Maybe. I got it now. Thank you. And Kelly McClure, the Bachelorette, did to Katie plus Blake what they did to Rachel plus Brian, elevated Greg and Peter K, and ignored the actual love story and put Katie and Rachel in the position to defend their engagements. Yeah, that's true. And Rachel has said that it wasn't as, so Peter as people thought from that season. And obviously the two of them are still together, still happy. It could be the exact same situation, but yeah, with such huge breakups that kind of blow up the season, even though that was later in the season for Rachel and Peter, from the editor's perspective, you see why they do that, but you don't know you never know the full narrative with any of these seasons, and it takes a while for a lot of it to come out, especially with people being under contract, and they can't say a whole heck of a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of stuff that got edited out with Blake there, including a lot of how he felt for Katie and what he expressed to Katie in terms of his feelings. I feel like they pulled a lot of that out to push the will he, won't he propose narrative. But he was always going to propose, and he was always ready to, I think. And Chantel, thank you for the super chat. Katie said something about seeing the Greg episode backstage. I think that's why they pre-taped the After the Final Rose, to get a raw reaction of their disagreement. Yes. Yeah, I don't know the logistics of when and where Katie saw everything, like, or if they showed her anything, or what. But certainly, they might have done that. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave her, you know, a little bit of pep to go out there and be extra raw. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I can't speculate, but you know, production will do a lot of stuff to get a good episode out and good reactions out. So I wouldn't be surprised. And Stephanie Jean-Louis, here's your super chat. Meant to say that I may be in the minority, but I've been rooting for Katie and Blake since she was announced as the Bachelorette. Interesting. Before, but I don't like. If she was announced, I mean, was there ever like that new like word of them being a couple when she was announced? Because he wouldn't have even been a part of the cast or anything when she was announced, but. If you called it back then, you've got the sense. Okay, who's going to be with Michelle? Let me know. Tweet me. But thanks for that super chat. And Ramen Noob, thank you as well. Fantake, did a great job breaking down each episode, and an absolute sniper with finding tiny details and previews with frame by frame sleuthing. Thanks for what you do. With love from Chicago. Thank you so much, Ramen Noob. Really, really appreciate the kind words. Annie Calendar as well for the super chat. Feeling a lot of love tonight. Thank you, everybody. I know we're kind of like flying through this and it's a lot, but thank you so much. Feeling the love. Really, really appreciate that. Annie also super chatted, how would you rate the season? I'm going to come out with a season review in the next week or so. But it's in middle of the pack. There's some good and bad things. That's my initial reaction. And Annie Calendar as well. Again, as a survivor of an abusive relationship, I'm tired of the term gaslighting thrown around. It's important to look at the number one gaslighters, the producers. That is true. They're like, at the end of the day, production has the key control over narrative, edit, and I like earnestly the fight. There's a lot of red flags in the fight, but there's so much more to the fight that they didn't show. From everything that I've heard, all around people are talking about how long it went, and there's footage that we've seen, the part where Katie's like, I have no words for you. It's just a small example of stuff that was pulled out from that fight. So we don't know 100% the narrative of what actually happened, which sucks. But at the end of the day, we still have to talk about it because it is important to talk about. It's important that people understand this is not the way a relationship should be. This is not how normal people interact in relationships. And Joss Damone, thank you for the super chat. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Greg only apologized for how Katie felt, not for what he did. Classic. By the way, you rock. Thanks for all your hard work. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at the more of the details of that conversation as we do our recap for tomorrow, and really get a grasp on the wording of it. But I do believe that there is ownership that Greg should be taking for a lot of his actions from that fight, just straight up. And Emma K, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Fante, can we talk about the Justin facial expression montage for just a little sec? Just thought it was really cute and a fun break from things. Yes, wonderful montage. It was just missing the pizza flying around. Really felt that they missed out on an opportunity there from the Justin stuff. Yeah. And I do want to say, I saw a tweet or something. It was about, like, you know, the facial reactions and everything is great. But Justin is more than just the man with the facial reactions, and the edit he got was kind of just a comical whatever edit. And I wish we could. We probably won't see him in Paradise. Maybe we will, but we probably won't because he was final 2 there, and I think that's a shame. I think he would have done really well in Paradise. And Eve B, thank you so much for the big super chat there. Really, really appreciate it. What a mess of a season. Thank you again for your recaps and preview breakdowns. Can't wait for Paradise. I can't wait for Paradise either. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, messy season for sure. And last super chat here that I've got. Hi, Bachelor fan take. This is from Molly. Much love from Seattle. Always look forward to hearing from you every week. Thank you for the kind words. Whew. Thank you, Molly. All right. Whew. All right. Whew. We got through. We got through the super chats. Thank you so much for the love tonight, everybody. It's so nice, and we're at the end of the season. Let me see if there's. So I really want to see if we can get to some that preview a little bit. I don't know if it's up on the usual place where they show previews, which is the Bachelor Nation YouTube account. But they've got it on Twitter, I think. Yes, they've got it on Twitter. Twitter has it, so we can get to some Bachelor in Paradise sleuthing before we get to go. And then there's one last little surprise that I also want to share with everybody. A little just exit excitement. So, all right, let's. Gosh, I feel like this is going to be bad quality. But let me see.
America has waited.
I think you probably heard some of it there. So, all right, we're gonna get on these glasses here. Glasses. What am I? I'm. It's midnight here, people. I'm losing my brain. We gotta get up in a few hours too. So I've got here. The Paradise. This is from Twitter, so I don't know. The quality is going to be a little bit rough, but let's see if we can.
And waited for 2 long years, and now get ready because Bachelor in Paradise is back.
So this will be another one of those. This looks like a day one maybe thing, but we're going to be going through with the preview breakdown and pinpointing like all the little people. There's a lot of shots around a lot of shots around in this preview with the people that are not announced in the initial casting but are going to be in the season. So This might be just a day one, but
It's gonna be
like already here, like this here, we can see like this looks like what's his guts schmedium shirt Wolverine dude. You know, like we've got Riley here. There's a ton of additional stuff. Like this is Thomas. I think Thomas shows up. We know that Thomas is going to be there, and he's going to be coupling up with Becca. Bachelorette Becca. So lots of stuff. Little John with the
and sexier than ever before. Yeah.
So yeah, James. Or this is Kenny, Mari.
Older and sexier.
That we also saw the Demi thing as well. Who else? There was also James with someone somewhere around here. If I can find it. Is this we'll take another look at this. Like, who is this? Is this Demi or maybe? I don't know. Looks like it's a date. So someone arrives, goes on a date with James. He's a day one person. So we'll see. And by the way, I think I had seen something somewhere that of like the Kenny nudity stuff is fake. Like he doesn't actually show up nude, even though they say he does. Yeah, this would be Kelsey. I don't know. It's hard to tell with this one. And again, deep dive into the sleuthing is going to come on Wednesday, where we'll spend some more time, some extended time looking at this stuff.
Than ever before.
going through the details.
Are you a troublemaker?
Riley.
I guess time will tell.
Trouble's kind of fun. If it's not hot enough.
And Piper. Piper was a pretty safe speculation that she was going to be there. If we can get to this shot of Piper. Because there have been sightings of Brendan and Piper together. Speculation that they were dating. But we've also seen in the last preview that there's a shot of Brendan with a blonde woman on a date. Could mean nothing. We know that Brendan is from the day one cast, and Piper is not, so she shows up later. So likely that date could just be from that initial time. Brendan meets someone, and then Piper comes in later, and they'll definitely be coupling up.
Enough. Oh, I want more of it. It's gonna get hotter.
The guys are good looking, the girls are good looking, and I'm the host.
David Spade hosting. We have got a bunch of hosts. Chelsea, there's another person showing up.
And I'm the host.
Everybody loves Demi in their life.
Again, the distraction is this. And also, is she wearing nothing on her pants either? I don't know if this is how real this shot is. But it's distracting from the fact that Becca, the Bachelorette, is literally right here. She's literally right here. But they also officially announced her as a cast person on Twitter today as well.
We're already almost naked.
Tia, another one.
We're already almost naked.
I arrived.
With Kenny. But Kenny, we know he's with Demi and Mari as well. So lots of potential love triangles going on.
Oh, he looks really freaking good.
I'm trying to go to that boom boom room with Kenny. Ooh.
Girls are kissing girls, guys are kissing guys.
What is happening?
Ready to fall in love?
Wait, hold on. Nose your nose.
This is another date. Chelsea here. Don't know who this is. But
When you come into
like
this
that's Chelsea.
experience,
this looks like this to me looks like Brendan, and then there's another woman who's doesn't look to me like Piper, but could be wrong.
you could actually fall in love.
There's that James date who why can't I still tell who this is? It's not Demi. We're gonna have to hit the Bachelor archives.
I think you're amazing.
Jasenia and Ivan.
I can't
Thomas
stop
there
smiling.
with Becca.
You make me so happy.
So here's an interesting one. Riley with Deandra and Victoria P. There's a good one. Victoria P. Yeah. I think that might be it. Anna, maybe? Yeah, it might be Anna too. It's Anna. Could be. But if you watch the first look preview breakdown that I did, you would see that Connor is kissing Deandra. And now we've got Riley, who shows up later. We know because Connor's a part of the Day One cast. Riley is not a part of the Day One cast. And this is happening. So I think Connor, immediately, this makes me go, Connor's doomed. Connor's out. Maybe week 2. Well, not get ahead of ourselves. It's possible that he finds someone else. But it looks like whatever coupling happens with Connor and Deandra gets broken up by Riley. And Riley comes later, which is bad news for Connor. Is it Marissa? Marissa. That's Marissa from night 1 of Peter's season. Excuse me. Not Deandra. But Marissa, who is with Connor in that first look preview breakdown. And Riley here. So, forgive me.
All I really need is you.
So there's Anna. So yeah, she's shown up as well. A little more brunette as she's been in her Instagram
Really need
photos.
is you.
But this is not a, like, it's not a Anna-Brendan connection. That's a fake out that they do all the time. However, Noah and Abigail, a real one.
And then Kendall walks in, and that's Joe's ex, and Joe's with Serena.
Why did you come here?
Why did you come here?
Oh gosh, McKenna. Oh man, all right, everyone. It is midnight. It is okay. It's midnight, everybody. My brain is off. Forgive me. Anna, not McKenna, whatever. Oof, man, I'm not hitting the names. I'm not hitting the names tonight. This is why we have a preview breakdown where I have like a day to like put the names together. Okay, Kendall showing up. Wait, am I getting the name right? Kendall. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. This is what happens when we have 3-hour episodes and then and then sleuthing afterwards at midnight. Okay.
Kendall's absolutely trying to.
I'm not surprised that Kendall's showing up if Joe is there as well, and that of course is gonna cause a riff with the Serena Joe relationship.
Got you a birthday cake.
There you go, another Kenny Demi connection,
Here he is with Demi, and I'm right there.
and Mari. Mari. And now I'm like, I hope I have the names right.
Watching.
Those poor girls. I'm gonna steal all
Oh,
them.
here's the blonde woman,
still-
the Sea-Doo blonde woman with Brendan, that will figure out. It's hard to tell. It's like Victoria or something. I don't know anymore. But we'll deep dive.
I'm gonna steal all their men.
Try to like
Bro, it's about
hopefully have better quality footage as
The
well.
heat is on. That's all I gotta say.
Oh,
Your cake is in the
Piper.
fire, by the way. Suck my.
Could be Victoria. I don't know.
There's definitely a storm coming.
Aaron is ready.
One thing I like is it seems like this is. I'm hoping that this is the like happy, least dramatic couple of the season, because there's nothing that seems to happen between these two. Of course, unless I missed in the next 40 seconds. They seem to just be like winking at each other all the time.
Storm coming.
Aaron is ready to fight Thomas.
I deserve some respect.
And again, we talked about in the first look preview breakdown that they originally had this pairing him and Carl fighting.
Don't
It's
with me.
Thomas.
I trusted you, and then you backstabbed. I'm not backstabbing
Love
you.
triangle.
You were me from day one.
We have nothing else to talk about
Brendan and Piper.
here. Keep my name out your mouth.
Every time there's some drama, you're involved.
He is a fraud.
Everyone told me, and I believed you.
She's caught in a lie that she doesn't know how to get out of.
There's Kelsey. Let's see, who is this
I
with? Is this like, is that Thomas again? Hard to tell.
believed you.
She's caught in a lie
We'll
that
see.
she doesn't know how to get out of.
Abigail could be a fake out. We've got more.
That's where I want to go.
This could be.
This is someone I can't remember the name for the life of me. He did not go very far. I have no idea what season he's on, but it's like recently. Like he was on Claire or Tasha's or something like that season, I think. Or was he on this season? No idea. But he's shown up like a few times. Chris? No idea. He looks upset though. But it's like a face that I recognize. But, you know, by the time we do a preview breakdown, it'll be... I'll go through the list of like
This could be
contestants.
the most dramatic Bachelor in Paradise ever.
What the hell is going on?
You never know what's gonna happen in paradise.
Bachelor in Paradise. There we go.
You never know what's gonna happen.
We see some more couples at the end here as well.
Ever.
Is that another Marissa and Riley shot? Maybe? and Thomas, Becca that we've seen before.
Up in paradise.
And Paradise is back. So we're gonna do a more extensive preview breakdown, but we've got quite a few couplings already that we've seen in that. A little bit more of an idea of what's gonna go down. Like for example, like we speculated Demi was gonna be there. Now we know Demi is there, and there's a love triangle that's going on. We know Becca and Thomas are a thing. Or that Marissa is no longer tied up with Connor, now Riley. So, so before we go, number one, I want to say next week, before Paradise, we're going to be live streaming the Bachelor video game. Going to set that up. I'm going to make a blast on YouTube about that as well. And two, I always like to do a little bit of a farewell to the season. Yeah, we didn't get any Carl footage, which just means he's probably gone real quick. I had made this today before any of the Paradise preview stuff had come out. But I was feeling hyped for the end of the season and Paradise finally being back. So I want to get I know it's late, I know it's after midnight, at least here on the East Coast. So let's just end things off with a little bit of a dance party. Thanks everyone for joining. Oh, great. We've got just a... I'm so sorry for the end of this stream here with that horrible shit. Thanks everyone else for joining in the season. Really appreciate all the love and support. Recap continues tomorrow, and it's bedtime, hopefully for everybody. I know it's late, so thank you all for joining. Have a great night. See you all tomorrow for the recap. And onward to Paradise. And until next time, Bachelor Fan Take, out.